All right. A toast to the lords of music, both living and dead. Please guide us through our musical journey. and please help us with our technology and cameras and stuff. Who would you like to toast this week, Zach?
Ooh. Dang it, I'm never ready for this question. I'm going to do... Well, we did Van Halen last week.
We didn't record Van Halen.
Steven Tyler.
Okay. Steven Tyler, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's my turn?
You want me to elaborate?
I'll toast to Tony Iommi because Kanem gave me a heart attack and I thought he posted a picture of Tony Iommi and I was like, oh my god, did 2020 take another legend? But he's not. He's still kicking it. He's alive and still shredding. So thank God for Tony Iommi.
Tony Iommi. I just had finished this audiobook, so I'm gonna still say to Mr. Eddie Van Halen. You know, I know we did it last week, but we never did it while we were recording. So a toast to him. So a toast to all of them. Cheers, guys. So yeah, why Steven Tyler?
I just really like Steven Tyler.
Fair enough. Steven Tyler over Joe Perry?
Is Steven Tyler the singer?
Yeah, he's the singer of Aerosmith.
That's what wait. Are we toasting to singers now? Because
we can toast. It's just musicians, living or dead. You know.
Yeah. I guess
I think we lost Zach. Oh no, he's back.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
We kind of had this conversation, and I would like to redact one of my statements because I said that Slash sounds more like Angus Young, but then I went back because I just haven't listened to Joe Perry in a long time, and I was like, okay, Slash sounds a lot like Joe Perry too. Like if you listen to Train Kept It Rolling, there's like so many things that I never noticed before. I was like, yeah, that's something Slash does. Yep, that's also something Slash does. Like,
basically, I feel like all of Get Your Wings really reminds me of like it's really like Joe Perry playing and kind of similar to Slash.
Yeah. And I just love Aerosmith, so that's why I like Steven Tyler.
I'm a big fan of Aerosmith too. I listened to Joe Perry's book too, and but that's what makes me curious. Like I probably haven't listened to Steven Tyler's book, but also like I view them a little bit differently. And again, I view it from like Joe Perry's perspective, where there's like a little bit of that's where my slant comes from, and also there's like a little bit of perspective where Steven Tyler does Steven Tyler, and I think Joe Perry does himself a little bit, but he really appreciates being part of the band, right? And that's what he appreciates. While Steven Tyler can get caught up on saying like stuff like, well, it's great being part of a band, but also when you're part of a band, you have to split everything like a band. Well, when I'm by myself on American Idol, it's all mine.
That might be a front person versus like I feel like
that's true.
That tends to, well, I mean, they're guitarists like that too, but I feel like there's a different kind of egos and personality that go into play when you're the lead singer and all that stuff. And like,
I guess we probably should go through the intro, which would be my turn this week.
Yeah, what did you bring for us?
I did. It's a blues song, 12-bar blues, like you guys love so much. So
I do love it. I just can't listen to 12 in a row.
Okay, fair enough. So this is just something I made a while ago when I was playing with May Moons. It's like obviously it's very blues driven. It's 12 bars. But I took different elements from different places, but I'll just go through the full thing. It's in D minor, technically D flat minor because I play most of the time half step down, but I'm just tuned to standard right now. But it basically just goes like this. That's pretty much it.
Dope.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Keys.
Thanks. I appreciate that. But it's pretty simple. I got a lot of like most like kind of blues things. I got most of the ideas from kind of other places though. Like the three songs that I always think of when I think of coming up with are one is going to be Gary Clark Jr.'s Cold Blooded, which is kind of an interesting progression because it's a minor to E minor to a B minor, but it's all in like the key of E minor, but it's like a 4-1-5 progression, which is kind of interesting, but it's very like kind of deceiving because you start on the A minor and it just goes. But you can see the kind of that I kind of get for my D minor thing. So there's that. And then I kind of pulled some influence from another Gary Clark Jr. song when my train pulls in. And it's really for, I play a minor 7 to a minor 6 chord for my 4 and 5 chord in my blues. But the Gary Clark Jr. one's in E minor. So the 4 chord is an A minor. So that'd be the 1. And then the 4 ends up being. And so he's playing kind of, if you think of like an A minor chord in an E minor formation, and you just chop that off at the D string. Like kind of think of like if you're starting to play Stairway to Heaven.
Oh,
Yeah. So that chord, you take your pinky and you put it on the 8th fret, and that makes it a 7 chord. And then if you bring your pinky back 1 to the 7th fret, that makes it a 7 chord. So I just took that. So in my song, my 4 is actually a G. So I just take that from my 4 and my 5, and I kind of do that.
See,
I think I got it.
When you'd mentioned that this is 12-bar blues, I was like, if you had just played this, I would not have thought 12-bar blues. It's cool. No, it's cool. It's like it's got a lot of like melodic features to it too, and like I really like that. It's like now that you're breaking it down, I'm like, oh, I see the 12-bar blues because you're talking about the A to the E and all that stuff. But I'm like, oh, I would not have. It's masked with a lot of different intricacies, which I like. So. Cool.
No, that's a good point. And I guess that's like what I like doing with 12-bar blues is kind of using it as a way to like develop like the different riffs and go through a progression of riffs that are based in like a 1-4-5 progression, but you can kind of like express it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Because even the lead-in part, I kind of took that lead-in from Chris Stapleton's song "I Was Wrong." So I just really like that leading, that kind of idea of the lead-in coming off of like the A minor chord to the D chord and that sort of progression. So that's kind of where all the ideas came from for that.
Nice. So is it on the 8th?
Yeah. Perfect.
And then it's the...
Yeah, well, yeah, so first you go to a G minor, G minor 7, G6, because that's the 4.
That's the 5, 3, 6.
5, 3, 3, yeah. 6 to 5-3-5.
He means it's like the 4 chord.
I don't know what a 4 chord is.
So I'm talking about like in terms of like root chord, chord. Your 5th, your 4th.
That doesn't help me.
Woo! No, I'm just kidding. No.
My illiteracy comes out here. Yeah.
No. Okay. So like, I'm talking about your G chord. So yeah, you're playing the right chord. So your 1 is your D minor, your 4 is your G minor, and your 5 is your A minor. Yeah.
Do you listen to Alabama Shakes?
I know like a few songs, not like a ton of them.
I only know like one song.
I mean, let's all be honest. It's probably it's not I Was Wrong.
There's one called Don't Want to Fight.
That's don't want to fight no more.
This song kind of reminds me of that, like because I'm hearing like just a fucking heavy beat, and I like it a lot. It's very groovy. Like
that's the fun of it. I was able to do kind of use like a R&B kind of groove sort of beat for it. I think I don't know if it was with like maracas or like a tambourine or something, but I really try to groove with it. And I also have to thank like the people that I recorded with, which were Lou Fuki and Tazine from like the Detroit-based like music group called Lou Fuki and Divine Providence, and they just like really like Lou Fuki played guitar on it, and he like really knocked it out of the park and really complimented what I was doing, because I'm doing like kind of to lead into the D minor chord, but he comes from like below, so he starts playing, which is 3 to 5, and then on the E, and the way those. Yeah, it's interesting harmony, because like you're doing thirds and then seconds some places, and then you slide in from like I think the 7th and the 2nd both to the 1. So it's kind of like this. It kind of creates a cool like harmony together like that.
That's cool.
It's a fun little lick. I always enjoy it. I kind of go back to it a lot. I kind of been continuously like I think about like kind of like the stuff I want to play live, and this song is like so easy, and I think it's like something I can weave in a lot of places. Like I could play like a heavier set with it and like really like crank up like the distortion gain on it and kind of maybe do something fuzzy with it. I think I've done that maybe once or twice, but then like if I'm playing like I've played this at like acoustic shows because it just really works really well with like the chords that are used in it and some of the voicings in it, that I feel like it worked well for like acoustic sets and everything. So I feel like it's pretty versatile. But I think what we're all really here today to do is talk about the heavy stuff, because I know we're probably going to go back to talking about like kind of Zen riffs and things that we've kind of like gone back to in the past, like from our past like riff history, that like are the ones that we haven't like settled on placing it in a song yet. So we're going to talk about those riffs and some of like the Zen riffs that just kind of chill us out. But I think we first have to talk about Welcome to the Jungle, because I feel like, Zach and I obviously love Guns N' Roses, but one of the things is with learning other people's music, you can always get lost with like what they're actually playing. And I really am entertained by how Zach plays it, because he plays it as a person that like really pays attention. And I played it as a person that's just like, I just want to go play this in front of people. What will fool them? So Zach, do you want to show us the real man's way to play Welcome to the Jungle? The intro?
I guess. Well, it's not real because it's in standard now.
That's the way to do it. Do you want to know how the poor man plays that? What made me laugh so hard is like, this is how I started it. I still go to the 3 notes at the end. But I started it like this. And compared to the way you play it, like now I'm just like, that's like so lifeless.
I mean, I think when I first started playing it, I just assumed it was delayed, so I probably did something like...
That's what I thought it was.
You know what I mean? It's like, it sounds like it's just delayed, but it's...
With delay.
Unless Slash fooled all of us and he doesn't play that way, but I think he does play that way.
I think he taps it.
Wait. So I definitely think so. Wait. So, like, how did you come across like this way of playing it? Like, was it just purely listening or what?
No, definitely not. It's not that effective. There was this guy on YouTube. What was his name? His username was like Narrow Rocks or something. And I found him in like 2010 or 2011. I was like, oh my God, that guy is like the most badass dude. And all he did was post like Guns N' Roses covers and stuff. And I think he had a video where he was like, this is the correct way to play it. And then like, he didn't really teach you how to do it. He just like played it. And then I think I just slowed it down.
You just put it at halftime and you were just like...
Yeah. Dude, I'm grindy like that.
Just deeply staring in.
I think the first Guns N' Roses solo that I learned was... I learned the first part of Welcome to the Jungle completely wrong. And then I actually learned how to play the... I learned that like really early, but I couldn't physically play it. Like I knew how to play it at 50% speed. And I would just sit in my little room and bump it up by like 2% at a time. And I got to like 65%. I was like, I'm so happy I'm at 65%. And then like, yeah, I couldn't actually play it up to speed for like 5 years or something stupid. I was so excited though.
I don't think that's stupid. I mean, like, we can play things wrong forever. And I think it is like taking the time. Like, I feel like playing now, I take the time to like learn things more. Like, even when you had originally like you put out a video kind of showing how to play the intro to Welcome to the Jungle, and I sat down and played that shit slow because it was like confusing. Just to get everything right and everything in place. And I think it's like, it takes time. I feel like when you first start playing, like all you care about is like trying to play it like at 100% speed. And then you get older and then you're like, I just want to be able to play it like so it sounds clean. I don't care.
I want to play it well enough to impress some people and be like, oh shit, he knows what he's doing, versus like, oh, he's actually like I think I had that same thing too as a kid where I was like, I just want to know how to do this so that it like, you know, it's good enough. It's good enough. And now I'm like, oh, I'm cutting a lot of corners. Like BYOB was that one. I was like, I cut a lot of corners on this. There's like little things that I was like, I'm playing this completely wrong for 10 years or something.
Yeah.
And then it's harder to unwork because then you still resort to doing it that way. Yeah, I think when I tried to first learn it too, it was in E flat, but the tab I saw was in standard, so it was on the third and first, so it was like, and it was like way harder because I was like, how the fuck do you like? Because it didn't tab it half a. Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, that's way too hard. This thing's like F or something. I never play in that. Like, like.
Who's the psychopath that like tapped it in standard tuning?
Dude, that's like a pet peeve. Like, I hate when I go to look up even something just like chords and they're just ass wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, who wrote these and why did you write? Like, they don't even make sense, like, from a capo perspective. They're just, like, wrong on every facet. And I'm just, like, trying to pull these chords up in the middle of the gig, and they're just wrong, and I'm just mad.
First chord is Shaped by You by Ed Sheeran. It's like, oh, okay.
It's always the pop songs, too.
What pisses you off more, like the tab being wrong or the chords? Because personally, the chords piss me off more, because how did you just get the, like, and let's be honest, like, I'm just being lazy and I'm not trying to think and write it out myself. That's why I'm going to the chords.
Exactly.
But the chords piss me off because it's just like, this is the root of what it is. Like, a tab being wrong, like, yeah, no joke. Like, you can miss a note. You could maybe kind of get the rhythm a little bit off because you're typing out a text tab. But when it's the chords, it's like, just stop.
No excuses.
No excuses. No mercy.
There's no C major sus 9 in this chord. Like, fucking, what are you fooling?
I pulled up a song, and it said the very first chord was an E minor, and the song was in E major. But I didn't know that when I'm just, like, pulling the song. I'm like, oh, crap, I got to pull this out of my butt.
Just
and, like,
invert all of the majors and minors, so, like, back and back.
So wait, do you have to do that often when you're gigging, where it's like just someone's like calls out like "Play Sweet Home Alabama," and you're like, I don't know who that is?
Depending on the gig, yes. Because with Great Scott, which is like the wedding event band, it's kind of rooted in the singer also being a dueling pianos player. So like, so he spent like, I don't know, 20 years or whatever, like taking requests. Like that's what he did for a living.
Songs, like,
yeah, he's seriously like a computer with songs. Like he knows every song in the world, and he has it memorized. Like he's just like, oh yeah, that song, I used to play that one, and he just plays it on his keyboard. So, but like the downside is he can do that. Like it's awesome that he can do that, but then it's like, crap, I have to figure out what to do. But because he does it so well, like there's songs where I literally just sat there playing this. I just played the root octave the entire time. Just like tried to be like funky and like look like I'm having a great time. Like
just throw some wah on it so it looks intentional.
Straight up. Like honestly, like, and nobody's noticed. That's the best part. Like there's so many times where like we'll get through the song and everyone's like, wow, you guys are so good. And I'm just like, I just completely deceived you. I feel so bad.
But I am that good. I am really good.
I swear, I can do this really good. Yeah.
Enter Standby in my Metallica.
Yeah.
How do you play that so well?
Oh, just years of
but
looking at the wrong tabs.
Yeah, right. There's definitely downsides because sometimes I'll have to play a song where there's a very significant guitar part and I don't know it. And if someone tips when they make the request, we play it. And so like Freebird is like the joke. Like everyone's like, oh, Freebird. We never actually play it because it's too long, whatever. I don't know Freebird, but one time it's the very first song of the set, and this guy tips $40 and says, "Play Freebird." Okay. So Joe, who's the leader, he looks at me and goes, "All right, Zach, we're playing Freebird." And I was like, "Wait, but I don't know Freebird." And he just looks at me and he goes, "All right, Zach, we're playing Freebird." so I kid you not, it starts with me just trying to figure out how to play the freaking thing on the spot. So I'm like, like it's me like eating shit, and I feel like the guy was sitting there just like loving it. Like he was laughing so hard, like this guy sucks.
He probably respected that you went through with it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, it was like,
no. When you make a request, no one respects you.
I don't know, dude.
They expect you to play it perfect.
I played that entire song not knowing a single note, and it was awful. And that was the first song of the night.
From each of your perspectives, what's the importance of playing something exactly as written for you guys? Or where is it important? Where is it not important?
I think it's important when it's expected of you to play a song in its own rendition. So I think like if you're playing a cover set for like as a cover band and not just even adding a cover as like your band just happens to do a cover or two, I think that's usually a fair time to like expect a pretty like people are gauging how close to the original thing you are. I mean, I think it's honestly more just a personal. I've tried to take it as like a personal, just like feat to get better, because like the things that I skip are usually the things that I'm like, oh, that's hard. Fuck it, I don't want to learn that, and it takes just getting better. But once I learned that technique, then I've like become a better guitar player beyond just knowing that song. So honestly, it's more I think just when it's challenging you out of your like comfort zone or your current knowledge, then I think it's worth sitting down to learn.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Hayes?
But I think that there's 3 planes, I'm going to call them planes, of importance. So the first plane of importance is the song iconic? Because if you're learning the intro to Sweet Child of Mine, for example, but you're not going to play it like spot on, like there's literally no point to doing it.
You don't have to play the octaves for that?
I mean, like, I could do that if you want, but like it's, you know what I'm saying? Or like there's just certain things that are iconic and they're meant to be played exactly right. One of those things is Brown Eyed Girl, which is the hardest guitar riff, in my opinion, of all time. That's another topic. I hate it. It's stupid. I don't want to talk about it. I literally just, every time I play Brown Eyed Girl, like it's the hardest song I've ever learned. And it's just like...
Oh, that song.
And I just like, I mess it up every time. I'll mess it up right now. You like my hard like rock song. I hate it. I absolutely hate that riff. But anyways, I digress. The second plane of importance is the importance to yourself. So like if I'm learning a Slash solo, and I'm obsessed with Slash, that's why I keep using Slash as an example, obviously, I don't necessarily want to not learn it note for note because I'm trying to like essentially figure out like how his musical brain works. Like I'm pulling like the concepts from him to then try to take it and use that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing, I guess. And then the last plane of importance would be, and this is more so in the context of if you're playing in a cover band, but like if you're showing up to play at somebody's wedding and they're like, hey, I want you to play this song specifically at my wedding, you probably should learn it note for note, even if you don't want to. And I've done that.
Wait, why do you say probably? Shouldn't you say you have to learn it?
Because it depends on the song.
Because
and the...
sometimes there's songs that don't have guitar parts, so you're just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do my best. You know what I mean? Or like if alternatively, if they're like, all right, Zach, we want you to play Through the Fire and Flames at our wedding, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, good luck. But like I think if you are learning a song and it's a song like that you like you're trying to play like that person, I think it's important to learn it note for note. And I have run into the same experience that probably was talking about where you're like, this is too hard. I really don't want to learn this now. But you just got to do it.
So we have challenging from Prabhu. We have iconic, something being central to like something you really want to know. And then also like if it is like an expectation to play it note for note. So those are like the 4 things we have on the plane for why you should learn it note for note. Because I think when you guys talk about that, I definitely fall into the challenge. I think of just like riffs like Battery by Metallica.
That riff is insane.
That whole part, super. That's the first time I really took the time to utilize alternate picking. So I kind of agree with like the challenge there. The iconicness, definitely. I think about like Santana. Smooth, like learning, especially the intro lead. I have trouble with like the main solo sometimes, but definitely the intro into that, it becomes really important. And then also like the self-importance. And what I like about you bringing up the self-importance, Zach, I think that like completely brings it back to Welcome to the Jungle. Because playing it like this, you are a garbage person. You are like a garbage pail kid completely. Like I will slap people that don't play it. Like it's not even that like it just sounds better. Like it just feels slick as fuck.
Well, I think it's also what you're claiming, you know? So it's like, I think if you are a garbage, in your case, the garbage person, maybe I'm defending the garbage person because I am that garbage person. But I feel like if you're being like, oh, I can play this like this, that's different than being like, I can't play this like this, but maybe there's something unique about how I play it. And I think that's also important to like take note of, is how you play certain things, because in like I do think it's important to learn from mistakes and like not just try to be someone else, because I've felt that with technique stuff where I'm like, oh my god, I'm not this guitar player, I'm not this, and I'm like, all right, if my goal is not to ultimately learn everything about this song, at least if I've learned like where it is that my strengths are, then I can lean into those or find songs that are more similar. But I get what you're saying. It's like,
no, I think that brings up a great point though, because you're claiming you're garbage. I will also claim that I'm a garbage person too, because when it comes to like doing solos, I am a trash man when it comes to learning lick for lick solos. Like, dude, let's play the end of I played Fade to Black by Metallica for years. It's in B minor. I will just do that. I will just noodle over it and be like, that is the solo at the end that you are going to get from me today. It will be different from next week.
That was, I think, finding the people that force you to sit down and learn it really helped. Because like that, the first time I think I really had that kick in the ass was my friend in college, Jack, and for one of our shows we did a cover set, and it was that Slayer song Angel of Death, where I knew all the fast parts, but then when it goes to that that part or whatever it is, like I always play that whatever because it's all dissonant notes anyways, but like Jack's such a systematic learner, and like he learned all those parts. Like we sat down and it was torturous for me because I was like, oh my god, reading the tabs for this, I was like, I felt like it's just random numbers, but like that 1 week of sitting and looking at it, that hellish period, it felt so much more rewarding when I could actually play it right and show people. Or then when we played that show and then I was playing it and I was like, oh fuck, this feels slick as hell. Like this, like, that just feels so much better than like the bullshit way I played it.
I feel like I never compromise on riffs. Oh, well, I don't compromise at the core of metal riffs. Like, I remember Zach also went into like the main riff of Welcome to the Jungle. I compromise on that shit. I just play it how I play it. If it's chord driven, I will compromise. But if it's like a metal riff, I rarely make a compromise because it just becomes really important.
I'm with you on solos. I always skipped the solos on songs, so I learned all these rhythm parts, but then like I'd get to like Master of Puppets. I did learn that like that part and like the James Hetfield solo, but I'm sure I could learn the Kirk Hammett solos, but like I never did. So now when I can play the rhythm parts totally fine, but then I get to that and I'm like, oh god, like I'm like, oh god, like I'm like nervous because I feel like I'm just like put back in a class that I didn't really pass.
I learned the solos for one at one point in time, but completely, that's the thing for me is like rhythm parts I can remember forever. Solos, like I have to be I have to be using it, I have to be playing it all the time for me to remember. Very few, like Fade to Black intro, remember that probably to the day I die. One end solo, out of my mind. I can't even tell you where to start for that. Crazy Train, no idea.
Metallica and Megadeth have a lot of those songs where they play it. It can be played a lot simpler, but then they do so many weird little things. Like you were talking about Battery. I never used to play it. With the inverted chords they do.
Whoa, you don't play the inverted chords?
No, I never did. Now I do.
That's what it's all about. Dude, that's why I took it's not even inverted. It's just doing a minor chord.
Yeah.
You're third. You're doing a third chord.
Yeah, and like Holy Wars does that by Megadeth, and I used to play that wrong where like because they go and like I always used to play I used to just play them as chords, and like they just do all those little things. I was like, oh my god, this song is way different, and it adds. Oh, that's what. Hey, we're talking. I thought this was a safe space segment where we would trash people.
We never called this was a safe space. We attacked B.B. King, Eric Clapton, and John Mayer.
That is true.
I know.
That is true. But yeah, no. Yeah, it's. I think it's like once you can confidently play something, then it's also easier to sometimes go back and be like, oh, like there's certain roadblocks that are just like, wait, like a riff like Through the Fire and Flames. If I were to try and pick it now, I'm going to play it super shitty, but that's because I just can't play technically that stuff. But like, I'm sure if I could actually solo, then I went back and be like, oh, maybe I should actually learn how to play this.
And I want to apologize for attacking you. I mean, I'm not going to claim this is a 100% a safe space because we've attacked the other people that we don't even know. But I think what surprised me is the precision I hear in your metal playing. For you to say, like, I could, like, me all day. If I did that, like, I feel like that's understandable because, like, my playing can be very imprecise at times. And you've listened to my playing enough to know that it can be imprecise. Right, but you're playing, you probably you've listened to my playing enough to know that it can be imprecise. But you come out with such precision, especially in your metal riffs. I think that's what the most surprising part was.
Well, that's the thing is the precision comes from the stuff I write. So it's a lot easier to be good at what you write than like learning someone else's songs because it takes patience. Whereas like I can shit out a riff and then I just remember it's muscle memory that's instant for a lot of things. And like versus like all that stuff where I'm like, oh god, I like it's just patience, which I don't have most of the time. And then I don't know, but I appreciate it. I think that's something I definitely took away from like I think my brother was one of the first people to say is like, yeah, you can play fast, but you're sloppy as hell. And then starting to learn how to record is when I got better at like playing to a metronome and like getting precise. But yeah, those old songs have a lot of little shit in them that make them really a lot more difficult than they initially seem to be.
But and speaking of old songs, I think the other thing we probably should talk about is like the old songs that we kind of go back to. Some of those songs or riffs that we've written that like kind of are like that give us that zen space. Like I know, like for me, there's been a couple things. I know we all have at times overworking work lives and personal lives and everything, and sometimes guitar can be that like escape. And there's like definitely like a few specific things that I play. So just almost repeatedly, it's part of that muscle memory. It's like, okay, I feel like a little bit stressed and I just need to like chill out. So I know we were going to talk about like some of those things or some of those riffs and or chord progressions or whatever. So I'll leave it to you guys. Zach, what's your kind of Zen riff or chord progression, or if you have a few, we'd love to hear them.
See, your perspective on it is very different because
it can be a crazy riff.
Well, it's not like that. It's like I am very much a like systematic guitar player. Like it's kind of like
good
sad.
So fast.
Whatever, but like it's kind of sad. But like I don't really like. I really don't often just pick up the guitar and just play it like to chill. Does that make sense? Like
that hurts.
I only play it to get paid, man.
I have like a structure, dude. Like I have like this little notebook, and I have like my practice routine and stuff. Yeah. Like I plan it out like a day in advance. But like it's also an evolution of your own practice routine. Like I feel like that's a really important thing and like a different topic. But like, yeah, I'm gonna change your question. I'm gonna change my answer.
Okay.
So more so, I guess just some of my favorite riffs. I don't know.
Yes.
I really like Welcome to the Jungle. It's funny because you said like it was chord based. This is what my like next lesson is for the main riff for Welcome to the Jungle. Like he does like it's like this really like groovy thing that Slash does. So many covers of people just playing it like this. And it's just like lifeless, you know what I mean? Because like it doesn't have the palm muting thing. Like there's like a groove to it. Like and that like adds so much to the song. Because like if you just go,
nah, that's weak sauce, man.
I think the second one is way better.
yeah, that's what I'm like. It's like they're just like, and maybe it's because I started out as a drummer, so like I really just like kind of feel the percussive kind of side of guitar playing a little differently than just like people who just like start on guitar and have only played guitar. But like that's definitely one of my favorite riffs. One of the very first riffs I learned was and this was because I played Guitar Hero 3.
Mississippi Queen.
Yeah, Mississippi Queen.
For a second, I thought it was going to be Spoon Man because it has that 7-1.
Yeah.
And probably we're talking about the 7 chord to the 1 chord.
Thank you for that clarification.
I was just making sure probably knew that I was talking about the 7 chord.
I was like, oh my god, what do you? I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I think I know that one.
It's fuck.
I kind of forgot about that.
Just knows everything.
I've learned a lot of songs.
You are our piano man in our cover band.
Yeah, you are
piano man.
Yeah, you're the piano man in our cover band because you talked about your piano man and your cover band just knows everything.
I had a really intense phase with Hey Joe. That was like the first song that I learned how to like jam. You know what I mean? Like, probably don't remember it now.
You play
that was like one of the first ones that I learned. And I think it was from the Slash version, but he does this lick. And that's a lick that I still use all the time. And actually, it was something I was thinking about with the last topic, but like, there's so many licks that I've even I've learned an entire solo, but there was one lick that was like the holy grail kind of lick for me. And like, I'm glad I found that lick. You know what I mean? So that's like one thing, especially now, like I really like learning solos close to verbatim. But so he goes like a. And I thought, yeah, I just really like that lick. Like that was just like that was the lick. And this was early on in my guitar playing too. Like I played that lick like 100 times a day because it was the only cool lick that I knew how to play. And like yeah, that was a good one for me.
That's very satisfying. You're gonna have to like break that down, like you broke down "Welcome to the Jungle" for us.
All right. You want me to do it now, or do you want me to save it?
No. I think you're gonna have to save it for time's sake. But yeah, no, I really like your kind of lick driven kind. I feel like I'm very riff driven, and those are the things I remember the most out of songs, and I just think it's really cool. Like, I guess in a way, like it kind of inspired me to be like a little bit more like lick driven and thinking about what is something that someone else used and how did they use it, and how can you use that yourself in other playing? Because I just improvise, but like the way you pick out a lick and kind of deconstruct it, obviously it, like aids to your improvised skills. Obviously, you can play that lick note for note, but you can also like probably parse out like some of the notes out of the lick and then kind of create something of your own. But yeah, that Slash one that Hey Joe one is pretty satisfying.
I think like my original approach to it was like kind of like that, where I was like, okay, there's like I would try to use parts from that lick, but now like, and I feel like it also just comes in phases for me. Like I just kind of changed my way that I play guitar, but like, I kind of can just like hear notes when I'm improvising, and it's definitely more successful on like something that's just like a blues progression, like it's really simple.
Yeah,
but like I'm still not great at like adding in like
so dark.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't even see you. Like when there's like a 6 chord or something, like I'm like crap, I don't really know what to do here yet. But like I kind of just try to hear melodies when I'm improvising and stuff. So like if I'm playing like
that's a very different approach, and that's an approach like I would like to bring not only to my improvising but like just to my solo, because I think very much in like the terms of like the scale, which like obviously you can get away with a lot with that, but you miss the nuance and you miss. I think the guitarist I think about is you miss like that like melody, that voice that like someone like David Gilmour has. Like David Gilmour isn't the fastest. He's not. He doesn't play the most notes possible. He doesn't do some things that people think of him to make people think that he's like the best guitarist. But you could argue that David Gilmour is the best guitarist, just the way he plays guitars and thinks about melody, even in his improvisation. You know.
Actually, I have one more item.
Okay.
To my little list. Tennessee whiskey. That's a good one for me.
So you just want to play 2 chords?
What?
You just want to play 2 chords for us?
Yeah, super simple. Like it's super easy, but I learned. I think it was Danish Pete from Andertons, the Danish guy. You guys know who Danish Pete is?
I'm fairly familiar because you recommended him last time.
Probably was like, who the hell is Danish Pete?
No, I think I can like I know there's like a Scandinavian dude on there, and I'm sure that's Danish Pete.
I think that's Danish Pete, but like he played this solo. This was just like something he uploaded to YouTube, and this was probably like one of the top 2 most like transformational licks that I learned on guitar. Because before this, like I could not play in the major scale. Like major pentatonic to me was just like I would play the solo to Knocking on Heaven's Door for like everything. Like it was stupid. But like so he played this lick that was like and like that just like when I heard those 2 licks, oh crap.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, he froze up.
Yeah, it's that
Like-
sustain.
Like you can take that lick and you can use it everywhere.
Can you use that sustain anywhere?
My favorite sustain is the zoom lag.
That's not what it sounds like, okay? But like
You lagged. Your video lagged on Zoom, so it was just you going with no audio, and we're like, listen to that sustain.
I thought you were laughing at Danish Pete.
No, we're laughing at you, Zach.
Thank you. So did you hear my whole rant? I was going off.
I think so.
We got enough of it.
We got the gist.
Thanks, guys. So that's the gist of it.
No. Okay, what was the specific highlight of your rant? Because we did miss part of it.
So like this lick. Crap. So like in context, like you have. Probably could have done this a little faster, sorry. So he started it right here like this. And like, just like that style of playing and this lick. So like you like do a 5 to 7 on the B string, and then you just quickly. It's quick 7 to 8. But you don't pick it. You just kind of let it sustain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really like that type of playing where it's like you just let it sustain. Like it's a very subtle way of playing, but you can fit a lot of notes in a way that's like a lot more expressive as opposed to like picking everything.
Yeah. I was gonna use that word too. I was gonna say expressive. But you can use that lick pretty much anywhere in either the major or minor pentatonic scale. So like if I were to do A minor. I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you can use A major.
So Prabhu, what about you? What keeps you zen? What keeps you focused? Or what alternate
the
things you want to
zen, but it zens the fuck out of me. It's I'll just play the riff first.
As long as it zens the fuck out of you, that's all that matters.
It's Bleed by Meshuggah, which is just a bunch of triplets, and you're talking about the percussive thing, so it's just a bunch of triplet over like a polyrhythmic.
It's satisfying.
Let's see. And it's in drop F, so I put a whammy on here, so let's hope that it's. So it's just like that triplet thing, and then when it goes to oh my god, that sounds like trash with the whammy. But anyways, it just has this and like locking into a groove while playing it is the most like therapeutic. I'm gonna throw the whammy off of it so that I can actually hear it better. But it's got this zen thing to it because even though it's a crazy song, there's no time to think. It's even though it's crazy rhythms like the it's like weird time signature stuff, but there's no time to think. You just have to feel it. And like there's something about that makes it so like therapeutic to me, because it's not, I can't sit and think like, what do I play next? It's just gotta intuitively just know what to do and just bob your head and 4/4. And because the beat is in 4/4, the drums are all on a 4/4 thing, but you're doing some weird like and like what helped me learn that song was watching someone play it on bongos. and he had all the drums written, like the like drum line kind of thing written out, like the yeah. And I was like, to me, that's a Zen riff, just because it like playing wise, it really puts me in it really like just there. It's really fun, and it's also like what my go-to practice thing, since so many things I do is like all picking kind of stuff. Like I just notice like that's my little tick on the guitar, is just to like really practice on like even if I'm doing like chords and stuff, I add those little like spurts of things to like, so like that riff really helps with that. Other than that, I mean,
real quick, back to it's the Meshuggah one. Meshuggah, is it Meshuggah or Meshuggah?
Meshuggah.
My sugar.
Meshuggah. But I know you've played that a lot.
So
but there's like it's a subtle like half step bend that they do in the middle of it.
Yeah, so it's triplet 1. So it's just
okay.
It's just, and then it goes to that first. So when it goes to that part, it gets really hard because you're switching notes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really weird. It's a really. I'm glad I was like. I learned that better over quarantine because I had all this time, and then I was unemployed, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do for like 8 hours a day. The other riff that randomly came to mind because I didn't think of this question, so that must mean it's a more genuine answer, is the song called Atwa by System of a Down, on Toxicity.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a simple. And it's, I really love that. It's just like the way the vocals go with that, and it's just like. Yeah, or the Soldier Side intro. I like the stuff that has like. What really zens me out is when there's a low note and then a high note doing like a harmony.
When you have the like the low and the high. I thought you were gonna talk about like the sitar effect.
No, just like so like things like Blackbird by Beatles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just love those kind of guitar effects and like yeah, something. And this is super specific, but something I love is when like I'm really happy that I got this Gibson because I always love the middle pickup sound on Gibsons, like Les Pauls or SGs. Just that like, it's got that little bit of twang, even though it's like P90s and it's not the humbucker sound that I'm like thinking of in my head. It like has this just like that like how it sounds on those low notes. It just that's really calming to me for some reason. That combination of like drop tuning with that just ooh. It like I don't know what it is, but it just has this like very pretty sound to me that like really calms me.
Especially with that spring reverb.
Oh yeah, I love the. Anyways, what about you?
Oh, I don't know. I always think about. I'm not as gracious as you two. I think about, I guess, some of the things that I've like kind of written myself. I always go back to this like it kind of does the low note high note sort of thing that you're talking about with like Blackbird and stuff, in that sense of I'm like playing the root and the third, but it's pretty simple. It's just like G minor. The progression at its core is simple. It's just like G minor to F major to D sharp major. But like the way I play it just I go back to that a lot, and that it's something
like
I've
the chorus on it.
Yeah. Thank you. I had to add it. But it's something that like I kind of go back to when I am just like think about like things I want to play, or if I'm just fiddling around. It's something I use a lot for like when I'm playing with my fingers or trying to like practice playing with my fingers. I think I wrote it when I started like learning a little bit more about how to play with my fingers. I have it like named as like ballad in G minor for like I want to write a ballad with it, but I just haven't taken the time to like write something fully out for it. But I always come back to it when I'm playing. And then like something that's like a little bit I don't know, it's bluesy. I've had it for a little bit, but I haven't really worked it into something. But it's kind of simple at its core because it's just E to G to A. But I like doing this. There's just like a movement I really like out of that. And then like I just like mess with it. Stuff like that. Yeah.
It sounds so different with the spring reverb. It sounds like a
yeah.
It sounds like like a Dick Dale song.
And then there's this like really old one that I wrote in high school. Which is like another thing in just G minor. I played G minor for some reason a lot, but I just like it just has like a very it's very satisfying just to play.
Very Maiden.
I do have a riff that's therapeutic.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Actually, One by Metallica. That's therapeutic as fuck.
Oh yeah, that is pretty therapeutic.
That intro.
The intro,
there's
bro.
That part.
that's pretty great.
There's that part. I'm just talking to like.
Yeah.
And I love when he plays live. He has that.
Sanitarium can do it for me.
Their clean stuff is just fucking.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Now you got me thinking about the ending. It's like
free therapy right there.
That riff is like very cool because like actually they're using like they're kind of like mixing the it's like pretty much like a chromatic scale, but like they're mixing like the E minor scale with like the Locridian with like a leading seventh.
I
love that part.
I
so,
know you were speaking.
So like if you're in E minor, right? If I'm playing off the A string, right? If I were to go down one, that the one you played on the
harmonic.
That would be that seventh right there, right below. That's the major seventh in the scale. Depending on what you're playing, like normally in my thought process, I think of like the natural mode or the natural minor. I normally go down to the fifth, but like in more metal stuff, obviously.
Well, Slash does that leading seventh a lot. I feel like he does that so much in the. I think of it as
separates the men from the boys. The leading seventh.
It's the sassy chord. It's the.
It's like, I don't belong here, but I'm gonna be here.
I think Master of Puppets too has all those therapeutic riffs too, with the part that goes, and then when it leads that part is just so like, again, when you played that one cover show where we did the Slayer song, that was the other part, and then I had to lead into I did all the Hetfield's parts, and like that part going into that, it's like it's exhilarating because you're just like there's no break, and then it's just like I guess my definition of therapeutic in a way is when I'm not thinking. So like to me, some of those that's maybe why metal can be exhilarating sometimes and a calming thing to me, is that like it shuts my already like busy mind up sometimes, and I'm just like, I can't focus, do this thing, you're locked in, and you're just like it's like you're playing, and then you're just like at the end, you're like sweating because it's like an 8.5 minute song, and you're just like, whew, like that felt good. It was like going on a run.
And I feel like so much of it can be like so many notes. It feels like almost every note matters, right? Like it's not like if you change one thing about it, then it's just like what did I just play, right?
Yeah, like they do that, like just that little. It's just like that little thing where you're just like, oh god, it's like, why you gotta do it's like, oh, but when you land it, it feels so good, and it doesn't compare. And that kind of ties into the like learning riffs, I think, to the to a T versus not, is there is that satisfactory feeling of just nailing the right notes when you're playing something and just being like, damn, like that sounded like, in my egotistical mind, I'm like, that sounded like Metallica, and that's.
I wish I had that solo dedication like Zach, because like, man, that like when you do learn a solo and you know it right, it feels so good. But we all can't be Zach Hayes.
See, like it's honestly like of skill. Like it's just like anything else. Because like it used to take me like a full week just to learn one song. Like I remember like only having the patience to learn like one section of a song at a time. Like I'd learn one riff and be like, okay, like I can't physically. Like I was probably just being a wuss, to be honest. But like
I was like Heaven solo in 13 years, and I still don't sit down, even though I want to be able to play it.
People like you just gotta do it. And like now, like, and this was also like kind of bred out of necessity, but like I can learn like probably 2 songs in an hour.
That's fun.
I have.
That's awesome.
But like not like a really a really intricate or like specific song. Like like that'll take a while. But like if it's just like a song that's like pretty straightforward and it has a solo, like I can learn it pretty quick and I'll like retain it, which is the big part.
Well, and I feel like you've done a lot of that kind of session work and playing in cover bands and that kind of stuff, and I feel like that really pushes you too to do that, because I feel like you've you've done it in a professional setting where you've had to learn a song professionally for your money. Like if that, I feel like that would really. I feel like that's a nice incentive too, and a nice,
especially with so many guitarists out there. You have to differentiate yourself from being trash people like me. That's not gonna learn the solo.
No.
Fuck, you want me to learn anything else? I do want to say one thing. Hot rails in the Strat are awesome, and I switched to the 1mm picks as recommended by Mr. Hayes. I'm trying them out. I've liked it. I feel like the purple picks that we're using, the 1.14mm, like they had no give to it. Like, so I feel like just having that little bit of give is nice. I think 0.88 is too thin. Not necessarily too thin, but I just need something with a little bit of meat. Not like Prabhu. Prabhu is just
I used to use
all vegan over there.
I know. I was using the 1.14s and the thicker ones, but like you said, there's just a bite that comes with and a little bit of give kind of forces you to really dig in with those. I think 1 is a great 1mm is a great like middle ground.
All right, you ready to play us out, Zach?
Shallow heart.
Yeah, do you want me to show you a lick or do you want me to play a riff?
However you want to, just outro us out. You can't. There's no more lessons to be learned today.
Oh,
because
right.
we know you're better.
We know exactly.
Ford's done it again with the Ford new F-150.
More torque than you know what to do with. You don't even know what torque is, do you, dummy?
You're so right. I wrote this to be a country song.
While all you kids have been focusing on the twerk, we've been focusing on the torque.
Because everyone's moving during Corona season, we're going to suggest a pickup truck. Because that makes sense. Because you're definitely moving right now and not trying to stay at home.
Whatever, guys. I should have just played a lick.
No, it's good. I like it.
No, I think it's the outro, man. We gotta outro. All right. I think that's it. Thank you, guys.